Thank you, my lord. For the purpose of record, my name is Maya Okoth, and I'm here to represent Tom Obiero. On the 22nd of July 2022, my client and Diana Tabitha agreed to meet after a continuous conversation which had mirrored Diana as a potential girlfriend. On this day, Diana requested my client some money to use as fare, 2,000 shillings to be precise. For the good heart my client has, he openly sent Diana 2,000 shillings and was even kind to add money that she could use to withdraw the 2,000 shillings. My lord, I want to confirm to this court that I have real facts and hard evidence to prove that actually Diana confirmed receipt and confirmed her availability on that day. So, Diana left her residence at 1:30 p.m., continuing to chat with my client, but somewhere around Nyayo Estate and Buruburu is where my client lost communication with Diana, and that is how my client lost his money. This is a very common behavior among young women, and they call it, for lack of a better word, Kukula affair. My lord, my wish for this court today is that Diana ends up behind bars so that this can be an example to every lady who uses such opportunities to swindle men their money. My other wish is that my client is compensated 3,500 Kenyan shillings for emotional damage. My lord, justice is very difficult to be served, but in you, I find my confidence. Thank you.
What I want to understand, the issue about eating fair is something that has been in the courts for long, and we want to see how fast we can deliberate and come with a solution. But I would like you to make it very clear so I understand that this money was not a friendly money that you can just send to somebody you know. I also want you to make it very clear to the court that will even help me with my judgment to understand with proof and tangible evidences that this money was actually meant for a good time and some enjoyment. It could be money to buy gas. So you have to bring this to the courts during your next submission. Thank you.
My lord, money has different names depending on the circumstance. The money that is paid to the family of a lady before wedding or marriage is called dowry. The money that is given to manipulate a decision is called a bribe. And my lord, the money that you are given at the end of the month is called salary. And my lord, there is no constitution that compels you to call them as so. And so it is your personal decision to call them as so. And so my client chose to call the money that she received as gift, and she used it as so. Money can be anything, even time is money. And even if the money was sent as fare, my lord, I consider this as an insult to my client, my lord, because the money was 2,000 Kenyan shillings, and my client drives a car of 3,000 cc. And my lord, if you have driven a car of that kind, then you will confirm to the court that even if you're to move from the State House to the CBD, then you cannot put fuel worth 2,000 Kenyan shillings. That cannot even start the engine of that car.
You have been talking about an executive car, which in this picture I would want to understand. Which car is this?
My lord, this is an executive Mazda Demio.
Mazda Demio is what you are perpetuating to be executive. Or if I heard you correctly, did you say that I have driven such a car? You have to show some maximum respect to the court and to the Supreme Court judges before you do any form of comparison. You must understand the caliber that is right in front of you. If I heard you correctly, I heard you say that time is money. So can you explain to the court and verify how much is 12 minutes?
My lord, I am really disappointed by the response given by my learned friend. This 2,000 shillings that we are talking about is hard and cash. My lord, my client had to work for days and nights in the wilderness with no food, no shelter, no family love, no hopes of even going back home. And then a lady comes and eats that money. In fact, my lord, this money was supposed to be donated to a charity foundation. This money was supposed to go and feed homeless children, children without parental love, children without food. My lord, I have done my background research and I am very aware that you're also a partial orphan. Could you imagine at your age if someone who is supposed to be your destiny connector takes 2,000 shillings away from your school fees or supposed...
Excuse me. You cannot go around making examples with your judges who you should hold of very high regard, because it is very wrong to start doing your investigations and your background check about me and everything. So you have to tread very carefully, because that might land you into trouble.
And my lord, my learned friend mentioned that the petitioner is suffering and is sweating profusely to get the little money. And my definition of suffering is someone who cannot afford the basic needs, that is food, shelter, and clothing. Now, if it is true that the petitioner is suffering and he's splashing money for pleasure and even giving money for charity, then I consider the petitioner to be sleeping on his intelligence. And that reminds me of a song that my grandmother used to sing for us when we were still toddlers. Nyandolo nindotere, mama biro kotingo rabolo, matindo tindo make toto, madongo dongo make japidi. Nyandolo nindotere, mama biro.
Excuse me. I want to bring this to your attention, that this house commands so much respect, and you need to accord it the level of respect that it deserves. So I want you to know that the language you are trying to sing or speak is alien to this house.
I'm sorry, my lord. I donate my 10 seconds to the court.
My lord, they're even lying. Earlier on, they claimed to have a 3,000cc car, only to find out it's a Mazda Demio. My lord, in terms of consumption, even a motorbike consumes more than a Mazda Demio. This is a car you can easily buy with Fuliza. In fact, the 2,000 shillings that they are despising can fuel 14 Mazda Demios. On top of that, let me move to my evidence. You can just move to the screens, please. And on the screen, you can clearly see that that is a screenshot of the money that Diana received from my client. And if you can just zoom in closely, that is Diana Tabitha's name. And with that, I will donate my 30 seconds to the court.
The money was sent according to the evidences they are producing. If I may be correct, money was sent, and she even sent a text message that she has received the money, and she even left the last time I checked the evidences and the submission. So I want to understand why she took the money, said that she has received the money, even left and communicated promptly as required by the Constitution through the text message, if I'm not wrong, if I may be correct. And when she was 50% plus one of the journey, she mysteriously disappeared in between Nyayo Stadium and Buruburu. I understand your client lives somewhere in Buruburu. So 50% plus one of the journey, she stopped communicating. So what I want you to explain to us that might be very useful in the judgment is, what was the initial motive? Why did she take the money, communicate that I have left, and stopped communicating at 50% plus one of the journey? What I want people to know and to understand is that issue regarding fare will not be taken any lightly. When proven guilty of eating or consuming fare, we will regard that as fraud, and according to Constitution, that is Act number 3215, eating fare is prohibited, as the government has so much food production and the rains are there all over the country, and if there is need to eat anything, then you can go and buy food and consume instead of eating fare. So that is something we will not take very lightly. And to the other guy, there is no guarantee whatsoever that sex is a compensation of fare or a return favor. So people who use fare as a shortcut, you call it a shortcut of having a good time. In fact, they lie to you that you're going to watch Netflix. So that is an issue we will not take lightly. We will even consult with Netflix, because you're making money in their name. So if you get any money in the name of we are going to watch Netflix, we will take that money and give it to Netflix, because that is their money. Thank you very much.